talking about real estate. Everybody likes to do flips. Flips is like the hottest thing.
Hey, what's the brother name that's on the Zoom with us?
Phil.
Phil.
Yes, sir.
All I was hearing, all I wanted, flip, 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 flip.
Tonight, I'm going to cover 3 main ways to get your money back quickly from an investment property. So basically, when you invest and you put your money out to work for you, the goal is for it to come back to you as quickly as possible. I mean, sometimes it takes longer than other times, but the goal is to get it back to you sooner than later. So tonight, I'm going to show you 3 distinct ways to get your money back quickly. All right, let me share here. That. So can you guys see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So this first one, this is a property that I bought for, let me see what we got in. Bought like for $58,000, right? All in with, everything that was involved in the transaction. I was in it for almost $122,000. Those with the repairs, those with closing costs and all those things, right? So this is one property and this is a flip, right? So, a lot of times people talking about real estate, everybody likes to do flips. Flips is like the hottest thing. You see all the shows, flipping California, flipping LA. They got these new ones out called zombie flips. They got them in Orlando. They got one show in Texas, and I think they got one out in California. But flipping is the thing. So everybody knows about flipping. Flipping is probably like the most popular aspect of real estate investing that most people know about and most people understand. So this particular one was a flip, a small property outside of Charlotte, about 30 minutes south of Charlotte, in a little city called Chester. Now, Chester was really close to where the local football team, the Carolina Panthers, were going to build a practice stadium, and so there was a lot of buzz around that time. And they're only going to be this place right here was about 10 minutes from there, 10, 15 minutes from there, and so there's a lot of buzz. Anytime you got something like that that brings jobs and things of that to the economy, people want to be in that area. And so that's what we were shooting for. And a lot of people were really trying to get down that area, right? And so we bought this particular property. We bought it at a good price, as you see. We bought it for $58,000. And then, we got the repairs and things of that nature, the renovation, we got appliances and all that good stuff. Like I said, we ended up being in this property about $122,000, right? So I'll share some before pictures so you kind of get an idea of what it looked like before. Let's see here. And it wasn't a super bad house, but it definitely needed some work. So this is the bathroom. Yeah, we always try to get some before pictures so we'll have proof of what we've done to give people an idea of, how the property used to look compared to what it is now. And so we always want to give that point of view. So this particular one right here need a pretty good renovation. It wasn't a bad house, but you can see, these cabinets are older, and the cabinet's a little crooked, so the floor is leaning a little bit there. So this wasn't a horrible property by any stretch of the imagination, but it did need some help. So we went in and renovated this property. Let's see. This is basically what you saw in the MLS, but let's see. So we put new siding on there. We did new gutters, railing and everything, a new roof. When it's funny now that I think about it, this was one of the first municipalities that made us pull a permit for the roof. So you're ever doing a flip in Chester, South Carolina, you got to get a permit, put a new roof on the house. That was crazy. We put the new shutters on here, new door. We didn't do a ton to the driveway because there was a big old tree right there to the left, but we put a new HVAC system in there, as you can see that on the side. So cute little house, 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, a nice sized yard, open floor plan. We actually we opened it up, so people could have an open layout. So nice one. One thing I really like, I hope we got another picture of this. In this little corner, to save spacing, this is something to keep in mind, just depending on the property. If it's a smaller property, you want to go with a tankless water heater, right? So this is a tankless water heater where it gets hot on demand. It has like a coil system in there that can stay hot for a long time. So you really almost never run out of hot water, which is amazing. And it takes up less space. So we use those in smaller properties. So that's what you see up in this left-hand corner. So we renovated this bad boy. Turned out nice little back room here, a tile on the wall. So we renovated this bad boy. Oh, there's the tankless water heater, so you can see it a little bit better right there. So those are really cool for when you got a smaller house with not a lot of space. So this was a flip, like I said. And let me see if they have the history on here. History, let's see. Oh no, we didn't buy this one on the market. We bought this one straight from the owner. So we paid 58,000, and all in we went in at 122, and we end up selling it for, like 159, so about 160, right? So if you just do some quick math on that, we're probably, on the sales price, we probably would end at 125 all in. So let's see, 125,000 minus 160,000. So we cleared about 35,000 on this one here. And it took us 6 months from beginning to end, from the time that we turned around, bought the property, renovated, and then finally sold it. It took us about 3.5 months to renovate and a month and a half or so, almost 2 months, I believe, to sell it. All right. So from start to finish, it was about 6 months. And we made $35,000. So that's one way. Flipping a property is one way to get your money back quickly, right? Sometimes flips on average, I would say the average flip is anywhere from it used to be about 90 days for us, 90 days, from start to finish. Now, it's taking a little longer. It's probably closer to about, to finish it up and then to sell it, we're probably at about 5 to 6 months. If we sell it faster, cool. But I would say on average, 5 to 6 months. So flipping a property, you could get your money back in about five months. On this one, it took us about 6 months, and we made $35,000 on this one. So flipping is one way to get your money back quickly. The next one I'm going to move to is a concept called wholesaling. Has anybody ever heard of wholesaling?
Yes,
And
sir.
this is, sort of like a wholesale. This is not the traditional way that people do wholesales, but this is one way that I like to do a wholesale. It's real simple. We basically bought this ugly house, right? We bought it. I paid cash for it. It's ugly. I was thinking about flipping it, and I was like, you know what? I think this is one that we could just wholesale without doing much to it. I got it at a good price, right? So scroll down so you kind of see this. So this is like the wholesale method, right? So with this particular one, I um I bought it for $60,000 in May of 2024. So I bought it for $60,000 in May of 2024, and then August was that May, June, July, 3 months. I sold it for $85,000. So I didn't do anything to it. I just bought it at a good price. What I always preach to you guys, you gotta buy this stuff at the right price. I just bought it at a cheap price. This is it. It's an ugly house. Um, you see, this is it. Nothing special at all about it. It was rough, really rough. But this is what I want you guys to understand. Like there's opportunity in everything. It doesn't always have to be the pretty house. Like this house compared to this one, it's like night and day, right? But once I show you the math is very close. I just wholesaled this property. I just bought it and I didn't do anything to it at all. I didn't do anything to it at all, but just put it back on the market. I bought it off market and then I put it on the market as is. Hey, this house is being sold as is. It's a good investment property. And the thing about it is something else that I always tell you guys have different exit plans. I could have fixed this property up, flipped it, right? So it was a good enough deal where I could have fixed it up and flipped it, but I chose to go ahead and just wholesale it. So that's a technique. Wholesaling is basically when you get a property and you basically sell it quickly. And this is a real streamlined approach to wholesaling. The other approaches they call what's assignment. You assign a contract. But I'm telling you, with this particular property in this particular way, you just get a property, uh, get it under contract, and get it at a good price, and then sell it to somebody else without doing anything to it. So I'll go back here. So this is just wanted to show you the ugly pictures, the ugly house or whatever. There's money to be made in ugly houses too. That's the other point that I want to make. There's money to be made in ugly houses. So like I said, you guys see it for yourself, right? It's public records. Um, and yeah, here's my name right here, Sean Langston, right? So this is one of my properties. Bought it in May 10th, 2024. And then I put it on the market like a few days later. I tried to get 99, but I was really trying to get like uh 85, 90. I figured if I put it on the market for 99, I would probably get 85, 90. And I did get $85,000 3 months later. So 3 months later, I bought it for 60, got it for 80, sold it for 85. And so what's that? $25,000. So I made $25,000 in about 3 months. It took us 3 months from May 2024 to August 2024, right? So that's another way. And you wholesaling. Sometimes wholesaling can happen faster than this, right? So got my money back as opposed to 6 months. I split that in half and I got that back in 3 months instead of 6 months. I made 20 grand, 25 grand in 3 months. So that's another way, wholesaling, right? So it's more than one way to skin the cat. I know you guys heard that phrase before. It's more than one way to skin a cat. So that's the second way. The third way, which is probably, to be honest, probably one of my most favorite ways, to get your money back quickly, from an investment property is what's called, buy and refinance. It's called the BRRRR method. They call it buy, put a renter in there, refinance and repeat, the BRRRR method, right? So this particular property is 1402 Austin. This is a property that I bought for $75,000. So this is the BRRRR method. The first method was a flip. The second method I just mentioned, was a wholesale. And this is the third method of uh, buying, holding, and refinance. It's called the BRRRR method, right? So I bought this property here for $75,000. And then I put about only about $5,000 in here to get it rent ready. It didn't need a ton of work to get it rent ready. The roof was solid, siding was good, windows were good. We changed out the appliances and painted, and we replaced some of the flooring in here. So I spent about $6,000 on this. So between the purchase and what I spent, I was in at about $80,000, about 5,000 on this particular one. So it's a nice little house. I jumped on it. I think this came up in another one of the trainings where, I was running some comps on another property showing you guys, but this is a property I saw. I just jumped on it right away, cause I know how to spot deals. I'm teaching you guys how to understand and spot deal. I saw it as a good opportunity. I went ahead and bought it, um, put like $5,000 in it. So I was in it for, $80,000. And this is what it looks like after we did like the little rent ready. So not a huge difference, but we did paint everything in there, replace the flooring, um, put some mostly paint. That's most what we had to do, like really, really minor repairs. We replaced a few light fixtures, just cleaned the gutters. They were showing me, this is the property manager sent me some pictures, just to get the gutters clean and pressure washed. Repaired a spot, on the ceiling. Really, really simple. And this bad boy was ready to rock and roll. So we got a renter in there. The renter's paying like $1,300. So we were in this property all in for $80,000. So I knew that this property would be a good opportunity and a good candidate to be a buy and hold rental property. And so what I did is I went to my bank, um, and basically you guys had met. I don't know if everybody on here has met Nick before, but I'll have him back on, one of our preferred lenders. I went to Nick and I said, "Hey, Nick, I got $80,000 in this house. I want to see if you guys can appraise it. I think it's worth way more than 80." I already kind of had my numbers. I ran my comps. I thought it was worth about 165 to 170, right? So 165 to 170. So they appraised it, and let's see, appraisal came in. Here you got the address, you see my name and all that good stuff. The appraisal came in at $169,000.
Yeah.
This was on March the
What?
26th, right? March the 26th. Let's see when I bought that. I think I bought that in like December. Let's see. Back to the listing. So I bought this in December. I'm almost certain I bought it in December. Let's see the date on here. That's for rent. Let's see here. Yeah, so I bought it. This is me right here. I bought it December the 4th for $75,000. Like I told you, I ended up putting a tenant in there. They appraised it. So December, so like almost 4 months later, it appraised for once, basically more than double of what I paid for it and what I have into it, right? And so what happens is once I get the appraisal like that, most lenders will lend you 75% of the appraised value. The reason why they do 75% is because they want to have a little bit of cushion in there. Like for whatever reason, if you don't do what you're supposed to do, they know they can get the property back. So it's a less risky investment for them because they know there's 25% worth of equity in there. So if you take this $169,000, we see that with the appraisal. Let's look at that again. Appraisal 169,000. So multiply this times 75%. That means that they'll give me $126,750 on this, right? And how much did I tell you guys I had in the property? From what I paid for it and the basic updates, how much I have in the property? You remember? It was
Eight.
$80,000. Yep, $80,000. So that's all that I had in the property. 80. They were gonna give me 126,750. So I take that difference minus $80,000. I walked away with $46,750.
Yeah.
From December to when did we close on this? Yeah, we closed on this in let's see, 4 months. So December, January, February, March, April. We finally closed on it. Yep, because they did the appraisal in March. Here it is, March the 26th down here. If you see that, March 26th. And we closed in April. So 4 months later, I got $46,000 out of this property within 4 months. Only thing I did was paint flooring, cleaned it up some. And the good thing about this one compared to the other two techniques guess what? Obviously, I still own the property, right? So the property is still making money as a rental property because I think my mortgage on here is somewhere in the neighborhood. We got 126. I think my mortgage, all in principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. I think my mortgage is about $900 a month, and I'm charging. It's rented for 13. I think we rented it for 13. What's on there? So, and we got it. Yeah, we rented it for 1,200 a month. Actually, 1,200. Yeah, we rented it for 1,200 a month. So basically, my mortgage on there is like $900. I got $46,000 in my pocket, and plus
Mm.
I'm making $300 every month on that. And so that only took 4 months to make that happen. So these are three distinct and specific ways where you can get your money back quickly from your real estate investing, right? It
Yeah.
can be flip, it can be a wholesale, or it can be a buy and hold. Like I said, the third one is my favorite, because you get the best of both worlds. You get money out of the property, you get to keep it as continued cash flow, and you also, you keep the property. So that's an added bonus right there, right? So, maybe, your first one, a person may not want to do a buy and hold, may want to do a flip. But what I want you to look at, what I want you to learn from this is basically um, understanding which route you need to go, right? You'll be able to analyze the situation and say, okay, do I need to do this as uh, a flip, or do I need to do this as a wholesale, or is this like a buy and hold? So that's something I want you guys to be aware of, right? So you got options, right? So that's one good thing I love about real estate investing. Any questions about anything that I just covered?
Yeah, yeah. Brother Langston. Okay. So that the 75,
Yeah,
that was you didn't finance. That was your money out of your pocket.
that's correct. Yes, and it's same thing. You could finance. To
Okay.
be
So
honest,
so
yep,
so so
same thing.
so your 80 that what you invested was your 80. That's your 80. That didn't come from no bank or nothing. Correct.
Correct. That's right.
Okay, so but therefore, after you renovated it and you got with your investors, Nick, and he valued that property at 126,750, and you saw about so basically you're 70, you could get 75% of that, right? So you got
I can get 75% of the appraised value. You got your calculator in front of you?
I already got my numbers. I got them.
All right, all
Okay,
right.
question.
What you come up with?
I came up with the $46,750.
That's it.
46,750. Okay, now my question. Okay, so basically with the renting, okay, so you're getting 300 per month, but by you refinancing it, now there is a link, there is a loan on there of 46,750, correct?
Yeah, there's a loan on there of 126,750.
126 750. Okay, 126 750. Okay, so if you have, do you have to put the 46 750 under that too, because you took it out, correct?
Yeah, so basically think of it like this. The my I had 80,000 into the property, right?
Right.
So basically I
Oh,
got back I got back 126. So I'm taking that the 80,000 was money that I already spent. So I don't count that as profit, right?
okay.
So once I took that 126, I got my 80 back in my pocket, and then I got an additional $46,000.
Whoa. Whoa.
Right. So I got the 80 that I put up, right? Because I got the whole 126. He gave me 126, but the 80 had to go back into the pot because that's what I had spent. Put that back into the bank, and my profit was the $46,000.
Okay. All right. So that would be the profit. So that refinance, that's not like when you refinance that and the value of that property, that's not like about like me taking something like that's not the equity, right? That's right. That's no equity, is it? That 40.
Yeah, it's pretty much like taking the equity out of there. So on this particular one, since I had used my own money, right? You know, I had $80,000 of my own money, right? And they said that, hey, we'll give you 75% of 169, which was 126,700, right? So they said we'll give you 126,700 on this house. And I'm like, cool. I could have just said, hey, just give me my 80 back that I got into it, right? But I was like, no, I want to get 75%. I want to get what's available to me. So basically, when they gave me the 126 loan, they gave me $126,000, 126,700. I put 80 of that kind of just back in the pot because I'd already used 80,000 to buy that house. I put that 80 back into my bank account. So the difference between that 126 and 80 was my profit on that.
Was your profit. So what would be the
It's
value?
it's the equity. Let's say the equity.
Equity.
You want to use that language because
Okay.
the equity, because I still got now I got instead of owning a house free and clear that I paid 80 for, now I have $126,000 mortgage on there. But now I got $46,000 extra money that I had that I didn't have.
Okay, so what roughly, and the renter will be there within. It's not going to take long to pay that off when you got some renters in there.
Yeah. The thing about it is this, you know. So if you think about what I was mentioning about the BRRRR method is, at the very least, the tenant is paying down the mortgage, right? Let's just say that. The tenant is paying down the mortgage because my mortgage is $900. They're paying $1,200. They're paying that down. But let's just say, which historically has been that way. Let's say the property continues to go up in value over time, right? So if this property goes up in value over time, I could do this all over again, or I could just sell it, pay this loan off, and make profit off of, the value that the property has gone up in over time. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So it's basically people might see the initial part and like, well, I'm just making $300 a month. But yeah, you ain't talking about I just took out almost $50,000. and I still get to make $300 a month, right? And I still get to opportunity that more than likely this property is probably going to continue to go up over time, right? Even if it doesn't go up over time, if it stays the same over time, the tenant is still paying down my mortgage every single month, every single month, every single month they're paying it down. So even if the value doesn't go up, my mortgage balance is going to go down. My mortgage balance is 126. Next year, after 12 months, it's going to be, interest and everything. It might be about 122. The year after that, I might only owe like 115. The year after that, I might only owe 110. So they're going to be paying it down regardless if it goes up in value. But the good thing about it is what mostly happens is it goes up in value and they're paying it down. So that difference is your equity.
Oh wow! And at first it wasn't making sense because when we what's the brother name that's on the Zoom with us?
Phil.
Phil.
Yes, sir.
All I was hearing, all I wanted, flip.
Thanks for tuning in, Wealth Builders. I'll be dropping new content every week, so make sure you subscribe and click that notification bell. I'll see you on the next one.